Guys, so today I'm going to show you a video, or I'm making this video on function notation, and take advantage of the fact that it's a video. You know, you can pause it, rewind it, fast forward, rewatch it, whatever you need to do with it. But hopefully by the time we have finished watching this video, excuse me, you will have an idea about function notation and what that means. Excuse me. Okay, so the big thing about function notation is just realizing that it is basically the same thing as y. So if I gave you an equation, I'm going to change colors here that you can see. But the thing is, if I told you a function, so if I gave you an equation like y equals 2x plus 3, and I said, okay, well, y equals 5, that doesn't tell you a lot, because we know that y equals 5 if you solve it and you figure out, well, y equals 5 when x equals 1. But the advantage of function notation is if I said f of x equals 2x plus 3, you can say, well, if x is 1, then the function is equal to 5. This gives you more information than just saying y equals 5. So that is an advantage of function notation. And another thing is, well, if x is 1, then y is 5. You could even say this is a coordinate point is 1, 5. So that's the advantage of function notation. So this is what function notation looks like. And it's not always going to be f of x. It may be g of x, h of x. It's just different. It's like naming different functions. Like, you know, here's Frank, here's Gary, here's Harold, whatever, you know. There's just, you're naming the functions just different letters. So don't put too much stock into that. Okay. All right. So for example, if I gave you a function, if I said g of x equals negative 3x plus 1, and I want you to find g of 8. Okay, this just means that you are going to replace the x with 8. Both of the x's get replaced with 8. That's it. So, or both parts. So you're going to say g of 8 is equal to negative 3 times 8 plus 1. So then when I go through and I solve it, I have negative 3 times 8, which is negative 24, plus 1 gives me negative 23. So g of 8 is equal to negative 23. Well, I can do this exact same function, and if I say, okay, well, now what is g of negative 2? You're just going to replace both of the x's with negative 2. So that would be negative 3 times negative 2 plus 1. And that would be 6 plus 1, which is 7. So you would say g of negative 2 is 7. You don't just say 7. You have to say g of whatever the number is 7. All right, so then I'm going to have you try this one right here. All right, so let's say we have f of x is equal to 2x plus 8. All right. So I want you to try, and you can pause the video. I want you to try f of 2, and I want you to try f of negative 2. So pause the video, solve both of them, and then when you're done, hit play on the video so you can kind of check your answers, okay? So for f of 2, you should have f of 2 equals 2 times 2 plus 8. We're following the order of operations. So we're going to have that f of 2 is equal to 12. Now we do the same thing with negative 2. So f of negative 2 is 2 times negative 2 plus 8. F of negative 2 is negative 4 plus 8. So f of negative 2 is 4. Okay, so that's basis for function notation. All right, so The next thing, besides being able to plug in different values to the function, is to be able to look at a graph and to evaluate to see what the values of the function are based on the graph. And so part of it's not so hard, but part of it gets a little bit confusing. It's not hard, it just gets a little bit tricky. So you just got to kind of think about what you're looking at, okay? So remember, this is the x-axis. I don't know what in the world I was just writing there, sorry. Okay, this is the x-axis. So these are your x values going this way, and this is your y value, or your y-axis. So these are your y values going this way. So when it says f of 2, this means when x equals 2. So here is where x is 2, and you look at the graph, and you see right here is 3. So this means that y, or you could say f of x equals 3 when x is equal to 2. So again, when x is 2, y is 3, or f of x is 3. When x is 0, y is 1. Okay, so when x is 0, y is 1. Well, here's where it gets a little bit tricky. When it says f of x equals -1, that doesn't mean when x is -1. That means that when the function is equal to -1, or when y is equal to -1. So if I come over here to where y is -1, I see that there is a point right here where x is -2. So x is -2. So that's it's a little bit tricky, a little bit backwards than probably what you're thinking, okay? So look at the graph, and again, you can pause this if you need to, and look and see when the function is equal to 2, what is x equal to? So again, you can pause this to think about it, okay? So when the function is equal to 2, this is y is equal to 2, and I look at the graph, and I see that there is a point right here, so therefore x is equal to 1. Okay, so again, go back and rewatch this. Tomorrow you're going to do practice on all of this, and the video, of course, will still be available. You should send me a picture of your notes to your Google Classroom, and I will have a link in Google Classroom for you to do that as well. Okay, please don't hesitate to contact me with any questions, and I will be live today at 12 o'clock. I have the link on my website. Okay, all right, bye guys.